intro video one of these days. Oh, hey, hello. This thing just comes out of nowhere. Hello there. Welcome to the SOS podcast. I am Tenzin, 1/3 of the SOS podcast, and to my right, that's what it seems like, is Most Dope 216, aka B.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the show, y'all.
And below me is Q Perry, which I always thought it was CB Perry. So I'm gonna have to change the title. So please, sir, introduce yourself.
Interchangeable.
Okay.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Appreciate it. Happy to be here, man. But yeah, I'm Q Perry, Pittsburgh local artist extraordinaire.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So you from the Berg, where at in the city you from?
From Manchester, North Side representative, but I currently reside in Braddock.
Okay.
Y'all got the funniest names for cities up there. Manchester. What was that other one? Allegheny, or what? Like, Allegheny. What's that?
Allegheny.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I was like, "What is Allegheny?"
No, you know what's even funnier. And excuse me, let me intro myself. I don't want to mess up the chat, but it's Los. For all the people, it's like, who is this dude just coming and talking? But
the other third of the SOS, y'all.
Right.
when Tenzin came to Pittsburgh, he pronounced North Versailles correctly, and I was offended.
Ain't no way. Oh wait, no, he said Versailles.
Yeah,
I got on the phone with him. I was like, "Yeah, I'm on Versailles." He was like, "What's that?" Versailles.
Like, when you said he pronounced it correctly, my brain automatically filtered that he just said North Versailles, and then I thought I was like, "Oh, correctly." Like, oh, he didn't do it our way.
I was like, "This Fifth Street, isn't it?"
He said, "Yo, I'm in North Versailles." I'm like, "Pardon me, what?"
No,
really?
I heard an out of towner do that one time too, and I was like, "Oh, don't do that. It's North Versailles. Dumb one in France is Versailles. Here is Versailles."
I gotta remember that Versailles.
Coming in all uppity, talk about Versailles. Like,
yeah,
sorry, you went to your fancy university.
So Manchester, Pennsylvania. Where is that in relations to Pittsburgh?
Literally right across the river from downtown, like maybe a street or two over from the casino.
Interesting. So I got a question. So like are Pittsburghers kind of like people who are like born and raised, like so in my state, right? Like people who are like born and raised in Atlanta, like within that strict border, they be like, like they'll look at the surrounding areas, be like, you ain't from Atlanta. So like, are Pittsburghers the same way? Or
for the most part, you go past the Mon Valley area, you treading on thin water, like. Yeah, like you go past Mon Valley, like even North Versailles is close, but anything further out, like Irwin and all that, or people from Cranberry, you go further north, like
nah.
What I learned is when people are on them fringes, like when they want to diss Pittsburgh, they're not from Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Like when Pittsburgh do something that they're not proud of, like like a shooting or like some
niggas over there, Cranberry.
those folks in the city, you like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And AKA 9 times out of 10, especially the ones on the fringe, the city is where there's 2 or more black people at.
Hey,
that's usually what they mean when they start talking about the city. It's like, oh, where the blacks are. Like that's usually what they be meaning by that.
Only time it's Pittsburgh is when the Steelers is doing great. Like when the Steelers kicking ass, it's like, oh, it's Pittsburgh. Everything's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you got people
Pittsburgh at that point. You're like,
bro, you got people dang near from Morgantown be trying to claim Pittsburgh. I'll be like, get out of here. Like, I always say,
what's that other town called? Monroeville.
Monroeville, yeah, out near
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always say like Monroeville, Penn Hills, where I'm at, like we just close enough to the city that we get to claim it, but I'm just far enough away that if something go down out there, I ain't getting caught in the crossfire. Like I always think about the Batman movie, was it Dark Knight Rises?
Right.
Y'all remember how he took over the whole city with the nuke? That's not me.
Okay.
I'm cool.
You out of that.
Within the universe of Gotham City, if I was in that universe, I'm gonna be all right. Right. I'm cool. I might get a little heat on the back of my neck when the bomb burn up, but I'm gonna be all right.
Dave was tripping. He cut off a few bridges and thought people from Pittsburgh was gonna be tripping.
Bruh, exactly. All you had to do was cut up in the back, go through Homewood, and be out of there.
That's true as hell.
All you had to do was cut through Homewood. Now, the white people who's too scared to go through, they'd have still been stuck in there. But I'd have been cool. I'd have been cool.
So y'all was in the theater like, they ain't from Pittsburgh.
Right. For sure, bro.
No, bro. Like, I think the only bridge he took out was like the Clemente. Like, like you can get outside. Yeah, like people was like, what are we going to do? Like, just go the other way. Cut through Oakland, go through
Slickley was cool.
Yeah, like the only ones really affected is like, I don't know, maybe like even the main part of downtown, you wouldn't really be affected. Like if you take over the Clemente Bridge, like that's I guess maybe people who live on the North Shore, like that's pretty much it. Like that's not nothing for real. Yeah, Bane was tripping. His plan was not that thought out. Like
that was made for the movies for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely weird to film in the city called the City of Bridges, and the big obstacle was he took out one bridge.
Yeah. The big scene was on that one bridge.
Just go to the next one. Like, if that was real life, they just would have been sitting there like, where is everybody? Why is nobody scared?
Now I'm gonna go back and watch that shit tonight.
Right.
But man, we're here to talk to our friend. So, Mr. Perry, you described earlier that you are an artist here in the city, correct?
Yes.
So, how did you, how did your journey into the art world start?
I've always been in the arts, but honestly, it was kind of an accident. I just got sick and tired of going to art shows and gallery crawls, seeing a whole lot of art I could do. Like I've always been into art, and I'm just like, man, I could do that shit in my sleep. But none of my friends knew I was, capable or I was a creative. I kind of hid that part of me because, in the Black community, you expected to, be an athlete or an artist really ain't, especially a couple years ago, that wasn't on the forefront of everybody's, radar. So it's something I kind of hid, but I got tired of being like, I see shit I could do all the time, and I just did it one day.
So what was your first piece?
The first painting I sold, it was, what was it? It was like 11 by 14, a little painting, but it was of speaking of Batman, it was Harley Quinn. Somebody wanted to buy it. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like I did not set out to be an artist. That was not the plan.
Okay.
I was in education prior, and I've always was drawing on my lunch break, drawing at home, painting. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm about to start painting because I'm tired of seeing this bullshit out here. So I started painting one weekend, and then I posted it. Somebody wanted to buy it. And I was like, word, I like this. I like where this is going.
You told niggas to hold your Hennessy and picked up the brush.
Pretty much, yeah. You out with your boys and you go to the museum, you see a painting. I'm like, man, I could do that shit. Yeah. Niggas be like, man, you can't do that. Like, watch this next weekend.
Yeah.
So did you like frequent what's the one here, like the Warhol and stuff, like
Yeah, the thing is, I've been going to the Warhol, Carnegie Museum. Like, I go to those secretly by myself for years since I've always been into art. But you go out with your friends to wing night, and it's not a discussion that comes up around a bunch of niggas.
Yeah,
like I saw this dope Van Gogh this weekend. Like, that's not a conversation.
It's like a what?
Yeah, that's. Can you elaborate on that more? Like, I think a lot of African American men and maybe women too. I don't want to exclude our sisters, but like, because we have this veil, or not a veil, but this stigma that we got to be hard, or street savvy and stuff like that, have street credibility. Like, a lot of our interests, you know what I mean, they get put on the back burner, or maybe we might be afraid or ashamed to speak about them. But there's so many people like you that's in the art, or people that are in the comics, or people that are into manga or anime and stuff like that, who feel like maybe they can't express themselves, or maybe not now, but certainly like a decade or two ago, it just felt like there are certain things you can't really express. Can you elaborate on that, and like, what that felt like? Was that alienating?
Yeah. For the most part, that's hitting the nail on the head. Like, back when I was younger, like, anime wasn't cool, manga wasn't cool, like, even comics, like, wasn't nobody really collecting comic books back in the day, like the late 90s, early 2000s, like. And for me, it really wasn't alienating because I was like a phenomenal athlete. Like, I was an athlete most of my life.
What sport did you play?
I did football and I ran track.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, people embraced me, but they had no idea like I was, a serious like artist. In elementary school, I was in all the art clubs, but I was also like faster than everybody. So the focus was on, sports.
Okay.
So what type of subject matter do you usually like capture in your pieces?
The unique thing about me is I don't have one discipline. Like, I paint everything. I paint how I feel. Like, I'm honestly capable of painting from portraits to landscapes to animals to abstract. I have done it all. I even body paint.
And that's the cool thing about art, right? Like growing up, like, I had to take different art classes and stuff, and like each style of art has like rigid rules. But then, like, once you go out on your own, it's like you said, you can just do it all.
Yeah,
like,
fuck rules.
It's supposed to be cube style or whatever the fuck. Like, fuck it. Well, I'll put a sphere in here.
Yeah.
Man, fuck that. What art gets the hose? What art do you do when the hose come out?
I mean, I wouldn't put it like that, but
I'm just joking, bro.
Body paint
thinking of Superfly remake.
What'd you say?
Body paint gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, every time I see an artist on there, I'm like, okay, at what point did he have that conversation with Shorty and say, you know what, man? You would be dope with some paint on you, you know what I mean?
You know what's funny? Like, for years, like, no one believed me, or like, chicks did not give me the time of day. Like, I told them I was an artist, and they think I'm a rapper. I'm like, no, like, I really be like, I seriously paint. Like, for years, chicks wasn't hearing it, and then they'll read about me in the paper, or they'll see me on the news, and they're like, oh shit, and they try to circle back. I'd be like, nah, I'm
good. So maybe this might be a two-part question, but I guess like the first is like, what's it like navigating the art world as a Black man? First off,
that's a good question. Honestly, a little rough, because first off, they see your skin color and they automatically think you do exclusively Black art, like you boxed in already,
or like political pieces.
Yeah, all immediately, like, some aggressive, angry, political, hard takes on stuff.
Was the painting with the two hands breaking the chains and stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
you just got 80 different canvases.
I'm just like, I really honestly, I fight that stereotype so much. Like, it's like, no, I did the flower over there. Like, you see the
yeah.
Nah, like there's no. And I always say, like, Black art is more than just browns and crowns. Like, you know, we express more. We're more than just that. You know, identity. Like, you know, we express more than that. We're more creative than just that. Like,
yeah, browns and crowns. I like the way you put that because it put an image in my head automatically of like some silhouetted black lady with a crown over the top of her head.
Right. I always think I'm thinking of like
a lion with dreadlocks, you know.
Or a lion with dreadlocks.
Or was it Good Times where they had the Black Jesus?
Black Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a place for that, but we're more than just that, man. I'm just like, but I try my best to fight that stereotype. And it's interesting, like early on, before anybody knew who I was, I used to have art shows, art exhibitions, and I wouldn't tell anybody that's my piece. I would just stand by and hear what people were talking about. And it'd be interesting, and they'll ask me, like, do you know who the artist is? And I'm like, I don't know. I just want to hear their honest opinion, and their whole opinion shifts when they find out I'm the artist, which is real interesting.
Yeah.
So, like, has there ever been somebody be like, man, that flower's some straight bullshit? And they're like, oh,
I never got no bad critiques.
How do you feel about that? You know, like you said, when you were going through, you said I could do that, but when you see somebody who probably couldn't paint or write their name in the snow, say that they could do your stuff, does that offend you, or do you feel like you accept that challenge?
I want to see him do it. Yeah. I'm like, go ahead, like you can do it, and there's a reason why you haven't. You know, like. Everybody got the same 24 hours in a day, and you're welcome to try. But I've been a full-time artist for 6 years now. Like, it ain't easy.
Right.
Now, do you do commissions for individuals?
Yep. A lot of my income's commissions. I live paint a lot, and when I have the time, I sell my own paintings. But a lot of my income is commission based.
What was the worst commission assignment you had where you were just like, you know what, I'm almost willing to get this person their money back. I can't. Nah, you doing too much.
I mean, when I feel like that, I take it as a challenge because 90. I ain't gonna say that. A lot of commissions that I get, they're cool because I try to like get into their world, but there's been a few that are like. What the hell are they thinking? Like, I don't. But I would say the oddest, not the worst, but the oddest. Somebody wanted a dolphin with a suit on and a cell phone. I didn't know why they wanted that, but
that's actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it, but I said I'll do it. But that had to be the oddest one.
So you would draw hentai though?
Draw what?
You would draw hentai though, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the right price. Yeah.
Okay. Don't be saying we like we about to ask you. we ain't about to ask you. No, I was gonna ask. So like, when I think of art shows and stuff, I think of like the Hollywood version, just a bunch of prissy white people in a room staring at paintings, drinking wine, talk about what the piece makes them feel. So I guess I always wanted to ask an actual artist, what does an actual art show look like? Like, is it all like a one size fits all type thing, or is it like different? Like, I was wondering like what your take on like what exactly it looks like.
I mean, it depends on the show and the gallery also.
Okay.
Some art shows are like that, but it all depends on the show, and and the artist, what their fan base looks like, and it all depends on who shows up. But I mean, honestly, the main reason why they serve wine and champagne at art shows is to get people with big pockets drunk. That's it.
Yeah,
so they can spend money.
yeah.
What's
So
the biggest art piece you seen go personal in your that you personally witnessed?
The biggest I painted,
As far as the price that was paid for it.
like a mural or like a canvas.
Let's go with canvas.
Uh,
Not it don't have to be your piece, but just one that you saw. He was like, dang, that they dropped big bread on that.
I can answer both.
Okay.
My piece was like the biggest I've sold were like 6,000.
Ooh, that's crazy.
what was it?
That's just canvas. And the biggest I've seen like in person, I forgot the artist's name. I believe she's either her mother or she was a former slave. A friend of mine, he's an art collector, like big time art collector, and he owns that piece, and it was like $40,000. And he has like authentic Keith Haring's, authentic Warhols. Like, dude has. Like, I didn't want to touch shit in his house. Like, it had to be over like $5 million on art.
Like how?
I ain't want to bump nothing. I ain't want to touch shit.
So as an artist, like how does art get appraised? Even like where do they even start with value?
It honestly goes off the artist's career. Like if people want to invest, technically when you invest in art, you're kind of investing in a person, because somebody can paint something tomorrow and never paint again, and it's probably not gonna go any higher than what you paid for it.
Right.
So technically, when you invest in an artist, you're kind of investing in a person.
So like, for an artist's career to rise, like, does it rise based on how much people is willing to pay for their paintings, or does it rise by like competition? Like how does an artist's career like go on an upward trajectory?
Keep working. Keep working, and how hard you work. If I had a piece that was in a magazine tomorrow, like a nationally circulated magazine tomorrow, or if a piece went viral, then people, it's almost like music, like supply and demand. Like
Right.
I kind of equate my career like a music artist career. Like, shit could pop off anytime. The right person hears something, they might blow up. Like for instance, Glorilla's career, the right person heard her, she blew up. Same thing with art. As long as you keep working, somebody gonna hear you and somebody gonna like it and it's gonna blow up. But you gotta keep working.
How much does an artist's story have to do with it? Like you mentioned, you started to mention that one piece, and the first thing you started to mention was like the backstory, like of her mom being a slave or something like that. Like, does your story and things, your narrative have a lot to do with it?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, somebody would. I mean, people have. I forgot his name. There's an artist. I believe he doesn't have any hands. Like somebody, you get a portrait painted of yourself by somebody with no hands. That's probably gonna be worth a lot. Well, it all depends on a lot of people. Another key is people like to buy stories, not just a piece. Well, some people do just because it looks good, but also they want a part of the artist's journey. They see where they're going.
So they can have that conversation when somebody looks, oh, this is from Mr. Perry. Yeah, man. He's from, what'd you say? He's from Manchester. You said Manchester?
Yeah.
And you just go in from there, right?
And all the time, like people always, like even in the Black community, like you wear something new and dudes like, man, I've been on that, man. Same thing, but on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Now I was going to ask, so like, I know you kind of touched on it a little bit here and there, but like I was going to ask, like officially, like what exactly like is like the art scene in Pittsburgh? Like what's like, I know we talked about the Warhol, but like what's like the major places to check out, or like who to check out like in the scene,
It fluctuates, but it's starting to even out now. Like when I started, there wasn't that many in the city. Like there weren't that many, like it wasn't a big scene, and then it kind of got overpopulated because what's it called, Painting with a Sip came out and everybody thought they was an artist for a month. Yeah, everybody thinks they're an artist now, and then a year later, they try their hand at being an artist. They painted 3 paintings, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm an artist now." And then you add the business side to it, and then the workload, and then they realize this is real work. It's artwork, and then they died off. So right now, I feel like we're in the dying off stage of the hobby artists, and So I think it's getting back.
Can you explain that workload like in a year's time or 6 months time? What type of work are you putting in?
So you declare yourself an artist, and people are excited about you. You know how even rappers, even any career, you start something new, you start off hot.
Yeah.
Like, it's new, exciting, everybody wants to support. And then once that initial excitement dies off, what do? And people end up, like, oh, well, I guess I'm done, or I quit. But that's with anything. You got to keep going. Like a lot of rappers, they don't do as well as their first album, or a lot of movies, the sequel doesn't do as good as but that happens with anything. But people get that initial buzz and this fun. But what do you do when the fun's gone?
Yeah.
You got to keep working if it's your career choice.
Good. Are you the nephew or grandson who they say we doing face paint in that Tay-Tay's 15th birthday?
You know what?
You gonna paint all the kids' faces, baby?
What's funny is I honestly, that's how I started. Like, over 10 years ago, I remember a girl I was dating. Her nonprofit had a big holiday party, and they were looking for face painters. And I was like, I could do that shit. And I did it, and it was really, really good. And then I was a after school counselor, or a summer camp counselor. We had a big carnival. They needed a face painter. I did that shit, and I'm just like, man, fuck all this shit doing for free shit. I'm like, I'm about to start.
Yeah, for sure.
They started trying to book me for stuff, and I'm just like, I'm not doing this shit for $10 an hour playing with 50 kids. You try to get 10 5-year-olds to sit still. Nah, that's not it.
Coughing in your face and shit.
Yeah, like crying. And gone are those days. Gone are those days.
Anytime your auntie found out you good at something, she just make you do it. Your grandma or somebody like that. Your mama.
Nowadays, people know. Nowadays, people know not even to bother me. Like, don't even I get offended because I know some well-off, affluent family members and people, and they telling me like I'm too expensive for them. And I'm like, no.
Wow.
Why can't you make the T-shirts for the family union?
I got that for a couple of years. So you gotta get through all that. You gotta go through all that.
I was gonna ask too, when it comes to like art, is there like a lot of diversification? I guess what I mean is like if you find your like niche, like do you just really stick with it, or like can you move on from like painting to sketching or to like sculpting and stuff like that? Like, like does that usually happen a lot?
It depends on the artist. Some people do. I personally don't, but some people do. One of my biggest series, my love series, is very popular. I don't want to say I think it's stupid. It started out stupid, but it grew into something big, and I had no idea. I didn't plan on it, but I try to stay away or get away from it. But every once in a while, somebody will ask me for a love piece, so I'll go back and do another one. But even like I was doing mini canvases for a while for desks. I was doing that for a while, and I tried to get away from that. But every so often, somebody will ask me for a desk piece. But it all depends on the artist. I try to be keep my options open and be diverse as possible. But some artists just stay in one lane. I don't.
Now, what exactly was the love series? My bad.
So it was back in my I don't want to say adolescence, but I was going through a kind of a rough breakup in my healing process. It's kind of abstract, but it was kind of a play on like how love is messy, and it's fun though. Like the pieces are fun, but I don't think they're visually appeasing as other pieces, but it became one of my most popular series. The airport in Pittsburgh International Airport has a big one in there. It's blown up like 15 feet by 15 feet. They wanted one. The Carnegie Library in Pittsburgh, it's on one of their library cards. I designed a library card, and they wanted the love piece on there. But yeah, it's one of my most sold pieces.
Okay, next time I touch down in Pittsburgh, I gotta look out for it. Like, what's it look like?
If it's still there, it's got gate A22, but I know they're remodeling the entire airport here.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So they should be done this fall, maybe, but I know it's a whole lot of construction going on.
Yeah, I was almost working at the airport. Oh, I did work down there doing some bull crap job, pissed me off, but yeah, they're definitely remodeling that whole.
Yeah, I think it's about to be a whole new joint. I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole. They're getting rid of the train. It's gonna be a whole new airport.
Oh. Man, them getting rid of that train is crazy, bro. I ain't finna walk all the way down. I like the train, bro.
They're shortening it.
Oh, are they? Okay, I was about to say.
Pull up out and just go to your gate.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. I thought they was taking the train and wanted us to walk all the way down.
Oh, no. Like, oh, Lord. They're moving everything up. Like they kind of reversed it. It's a lot easier to get to your gates now. It will be.
So do you have like an agent or a manager or something like that?
Oddly enough, no. I've been solo dolo since I started painting.
Really? So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It could be. It depends on the person. Like, I can multitask efficient enough, and I just don't like to split up. You know, I don't like to split up the pie.
Yeah,
like I could have hired somebody, but you know, I built my own website. You know, I do my own marketing. You know, all the gigs and I've gotten people come to me. I've never did a press release before, and I've been all over. You know, papers and on all type of news channels.
Right.
So, would you consider yourself a local artist, or do you? I mean, and when I say local, just trust, I'm not trying to diminish. I'm saying like, is your market pretty much just Pittsburgh, or do you feel like do you feel like it's more regional or internet or national or something like that?
I consider myself a local artist only because I love Pittsburgh. You know, I don't want to stray too far away from, you know, my roots. But I've sold art all over the world. I've shipped art all over the world. So I wouldn't say like I'm just a local artist, but my main base is Pittsburgh, but I've shipped art to Finland, to Italy, pretty much. I'm trying to think where else. London.
Wow.
But yeah.
Now I know you was talking about. Oh, my bad. No, go ahead, Tenzo.
Oh no, I was gonna ask, like, you know, like do you often get invited to like art shows like outside of Pittsburgh? Like, hey, come to LA, or hey, come up to Canada to.
Honestly, no. I've gotten invited to a couple in Charlotte, a couple in New York, but that's pretty much about it. That's pretty much about it.
Oh, okay. And you've been international with it, but you didn't really have to. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, people. I just look at it as people come to me if they want art or want to connect. I really don't go out seeking much, but you know, that might change this year. I learned a lot more as far as how important marketing is. So, you know, it's always learning.
My bad, brother. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to ask. I was going to ask. Is there like a top like show or place that you would like it's like the goal to get featured at?
Honestly, any nationally accredited museum will be nice.
Okay.
But there's not like a Super Bowl for artists.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you. I know you had mentioned, you kind of mentioned with the airport thing that like you've done like murals and stuff. So like, where's like some of like the more like, well, I know you said you know you're more local to like Pittsburgh. So like, where's like most of the places like most people would have seen your murals at?
I've only done murals in Pittsburgh.
Right.
I have I've done maybe 15, 20 So it's a thing. I don't like to do them, but I can do them just because it's labor intensive, and I'm not a tall guy.
No, yeah. Where's most of the places you've done them at, like here in the city?
Oh, I've done one at PNC Bank. Well, the building is PNC One downtown. It's like a 20-foot building or 20-foot mural inside their conference room. Do you know where Fine View is behind AGH?
No,
the hospital on the north side. Well, there's a big one. That's like a 30-foot one. It's behind AGH downtown, but 90% of them are within city limits. And oddly enough, a lot of places asked me to do them indoors. I did one at Shady Lane Elementary School. Where else? What's the other school called? I forgot his name. There's been a lot of indoor ones. A lot of indoor, which I appreciate, but a lot of indoor ones. A lot of schools. A lot of schools want murals of kids doing stuff.
So when you make that mural, are you putting it down on like a notebook or smaller canvas first and then transferring it to the wall?
I'll do a sketch, and once the sketch is approved, I'll do like a rendering, like a digital rendering, like superimpose the image on the wall so the client can see what it would look like. And then once they give me the approval, or if they want to change anything, they let me know what to change, and I just go from there. But yeah, I typically do it digitally, like I'll sketch it, and then I'll take a picture of wherever's going to go, then just to get the size right, and then show the client, and then I'll just start painting.
Are you using that? When I was in high school, I made a painting, and it was like we had to put these like grids. Is that what you're doing on the wall to keep everything in perspective?
Not quite. So it's one thing I've done is called a doodle grid, which is easier to me. And it's kind of it's similar to I actually never did the grid before, but I use a doodle grid. It's just making marks anywhere on the wall, and then just sketching where the image would go.
Yeah.
And then
that's how you know you got God-given talent, because I mean, I could draw a little bit, you know what I mean? Maybe if I had like some real training, I could probably be a lot doper, but I just can't wrap my brain around trying to put something on the wall. Right. And I'm like on one part of the wall trying to draw and thinking that it has to make sense on the next part. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that seems like too much space. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yeah, so a lot of practice.
A lot of practice.
Yeah. A lot of practice. And it's intimidating to a lot of people. And what's tougher is learning can control with spray paint cans. Like can control is a big deal. So.
Now, I was also going to ask too, you know, one of the things we haven't really covered yet is like, what exactly is like the financial, you know, impact on your financials specifically, like of being an artist, like how's like that work?
Overhead.
Yeah, like the overhead, like what all goes into it, like you know how much you like usually see coming back to you, like what's that?
It is so. The return is nice.
I gotta check out you. I'm having a little trouble here with the kids.
It's all good,
y'all, man. Thanks for popping in.
Appreciate it. No problem.
I'll love you, Remy.
Love you, Remy.
But it's so since I'm like the only employee in this business, I don't have to give away too much. But like as far as like materials, you have to pay for transportation, because I like to hand deliver most of my artwork. Shipping, if you're shipping materials, you got to account for.
Yeah.
But all that to me should be added into your pricing.
Yeah.
Like you can't, you know, you have to make sure it makes sense, and you know, you don't want to break even if you don't have to. But studio costs, rent, you know, just typical adulting thing.
Because I noticed like like a handyman, right? Like, you know, if you pay a handyman to like paint your walls or something, like most of the time they will say like, okay, you're responsible for buying the paint though. You know, so like would you do that for some of your clients sometimes? Like
not at all. So my mindset's always been like, you know, I feel like I'm trying to be the next Warhol, I'm trying to be the next Basquiat, so I'm gonna carry myself like that. So if somebody asks Andy Warhol to paint their living room, what would that cost?
Right.
And I'll be like, all right, I'll take about a third of that. Like I'm not gonna. It's a privilege to me for me to even be in your living room. That's how I look at it. Like I don't consider myself like a plumber, or I consider myself, you know, something special. I'm not a commodity, you know. So I treat my career like that. So and my collectors understand and they support. And also, you don't want to outprice your audience. You know, you don't want to grow too far and you haven't met the next audience yet. So it's a learning process, but pricing it honestly, the return should be decent. But starting out, I was just happy to sell art. But the return, it's growing. It's definitely growing.
That's what's up. And now your materials, like, are they like real expensive? Like the type of paint you use? Like, is that like expensive?
No, I use mostly one brand two brands, Golden and Liquidex. Okay. They're really not too expensive. I don't use oils because those are expensive. And the brushes, I do like to use the pro brushes. Those can be kind of expensive. Okay. It's like $20 a brush, $15 a brush.
But are you buying new brushes like often, or do they just kind of
last? Maybe once a year.
Okay,
they last that long. Okay,
they last longer than that. You know, they last long. Like the pro brush. Honestly, I've bought like brand new brushes I use daily, maybe 3 or 4 times.
Okay,
but I mean, I use a decent array of brushes though.
That's what's up. Now, so like I was wondering, like, you know, I know you had touched on like how hard it was for you, like breaking into the art space, especially as a young Black man and everything, you know. So like, what sort of advice or like guidelines like do you really have for like younger artists, like Black, or mainly like Black ones, but you know, anybody for real? Like what sort of advice or like guidelines or steps like do you think you got for younger people?
I would say have fun first. Because if you're not having fun, there's kind of no point in doing it. And stay creative, and it's guaranteed it's going to be hard. Like it's chasing your dream or doing something you always wanted to do. It sounds great, but it's going to be just as hard as working a 9 to 5. Like it's not like it's easy street at all. Like it sounds nice. I'm an artist. I get to paint. I show it in museums, and it sounds nice, but it's going to be hard. Like whatever dream you're following is going to be hard. But you know, being broke is hard too. You know, going to work to a annoying boss is hard. You know, so pick your hard, and I'd rather be hard for my terms. Because I mean, I've had jobs where I had terrible bosses and hated going to work, and I've missed the bus in the snow, and it's hard. But this is hard too, but in a different way.
Yeah,
right. Like a being challenge, like a challenge to overcome.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of, and you can't cheat the grind. Like if you're not putting the work in, you're not going to see any results. You can't cheat the grind.
Yeah, bro. That's well, it's kind of to that point. It's kind of like what you was talking about earlier with the whole paint and sip craze. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, to me, from what it sounded like you were saying, there's a lot of people who's trying to cheat the grind. You know, like
they think it's and that attitude. I feel like, not to call anybody out, but I mean, a hit dog will holler. But whoever's listening, people may have that attitude towards a lot of things in life. Like you know, if soon as something gets hard, they be like, "Oh, I'm done."
Yeah,
you know. And I'm a former athlete, so I kind of know you know, how to navigate that space, you know, personally. Like, you know, when adversity hits, you know, it's fourth quarter, you know, and it's time for the, you know, the dogs to bark. So
right, yeah, I feel that. You know, I was a former wrestler, so you know that third period, you know, you gotta those last 2 minutes are gonna be rough.
Man,
you know,
there's been times, man, like being an entrepreneur, like, you know, you might get 10 bands one week, and then the next week or month you might not see nothing. Like it goes, and you got to understand that, and you got to work like ain't nothing going on. Like you got to keep working.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So yeah, you know, I was going to ask too, like, you know, what's some like upcoming events to look out for, or like who's some artists in the city that you really rocking with that like us and other listeners could like start checking out?
What's coming up? Next week I'm in the exhibition at the August Wilson House here. It's called Art for August. That's what, the 5th. That'd be cool to check out. It's a free event. Just highlighting and showcasing and paying homage to August Wilson. I'm live painting for Dollar Bank for Black History Month. I'm trying to think what else is going on. I'm doing just an info session at Google headquarters. I don't know if that's open to the public here. I think that might be just people for Google staff. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's it for me. So far it's up and coming that I could think of. I'm probably missing a few things. Some dope artists in the Berg to look out for. I always shout out Boom Concepts, Daryl Kensel, DS Kensel, and Thomas. Boom Concepts has been a big staple in Pittsburgh creatively. I feel like they led the way for creatives in Pittsburgh, young creatives in Pittsburgh. I feel like they started it all, honestly.
Okay.
I don't remember nobody doing anything creative on any type of scale before them.
Right.
Or at least made it halfway cool. But Boom Concepts, they're solid in the city. I'm trying to think who else. Who else is pretty dope? Ashanti's dope. Ashanti Josie, she's dope too. She's a dope artist. Who else? Juliandra's dope. Another dope female Black artist in the city.
okay.
I think. But yeah, that's all I got off the top. But there's some cool ones around here. Like people got to check them out. There's some cool ones.
Right.
There's not.
What's that like? Just being a part of an artist network, like I guess you know, just getting like you know, like do artists like you know, like do y'all hang out a lot, or y'all pretty much like
honestly,
you know,
it's interesting because like I don't, like I said, I've been doing this by myself for the longest. I call myself a lone wolf. Like I just got my first grant. Like I don't get funding or anything. I just got my first grant I applied for. It wasn't that much this year. So like I'm not a part of the big art collective.
Clapping up for you anyway, brother.
Appreciate it. But yeah, like it's supportive, but it's just like with any industry. You get the fake people, you get the people chasing clout, and you see all of that, but I stay to myself. I don't do the fake energy. I don't do the, you know, chasing coattails. I support people who support me, and I keep it that way. And you know,
you don't walk around with the big scarf and the French hat.
I stay out. I got a hat on, a hoodie on. I'm just like, I don't do the whole show and song and dance and hop into a room and glitter falls. I don't do none of that.
So like, go ahead, Tessa.
Was there ever like a like just like a mad expensive piece that you just may have heard of, whether you've seen it get sold or just read about it online or something? Was there ever just like a ridiculous ass piece that you just like, ain't no way that piece of shit sold for this?
There's two of them. Well, Basquiat's piece, it was untitled, but it's basically a skull. But he broke the record. It might have been a couple years, 5-6 years ago. He broke the record for the most expensive painting ever sold, and it was something like $30 million, something like that.
All right, so it was a picture of a skull.
it was some rendition of a skull, or it might have been 130 million. I don't know. It was ridiculous.
And so they pretty much didn't pay for his name. Like they didn't even pay for the.
And I was like, all right, but
at that point, that's his money laundering though. When I hear stories like that, that's his money laundering. Like that's
rumor has it. Rumor has it that's a big part of the art world. I've never been fortunate enough to meet anybody that wants to launder money, but
I mean,
I've never seen it.
I've heard that before too. Now that you bring it up, I don't understand how that even works for real. I don't even understand how that works.
If you watch the Superfly remake, they teach you. That's how he laundered the money.
I'm gonna go ahead and say publicly on record, I don't know how either. And if somebody that knows how to can explain it to me, right. We can discuss over some artwork.
There we go.
What was the second piece, my bro? My bad, I didn't mean to cut you
off. The Art Basel piece with the banana tape on the wall.
I was about to say that one. No fucking way. You know how rich you gotta be to have that much money just throw away on some bullshit like that.
You know what? When I was a kid, I was just like, why? When I was a kid, I called myself being in the art. Like there was a couple times my mom bought me like, you know, them little student art kits. Like you open it up, it got the cheap paint and the markers and the crayons and stuff like that. I wasn't good, and I kind of knew I wasn't good, so I knew kind of the away from that. But there was always a point where I was like, man, like, because I was thinking about, you know, like I brought up to you earlier, like my idea of art shows is just the rich white people staring like this at canvases all day. I always thought if I just bought a canvas and put a dot in the middle of the canvas of some paint, I wonder if I could trick some rich people into buying it. I'm gonna put a black dot too, so they think it's about race.
Right.
There was a time period where that would have worked. Like I would say post Basquiat, New York, it was a free for all. People were just doing anything with money. Not recently, maybe less than 10 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. There's a man who sold, or he had commissioned to do a painting for a museum or something.
Yeah.
And he delivered a blank canvas. And he said it was basically the race theory about the United States, like how it's all white. And I'm like, it's a blank canvas.
And they bought it anyway.
Yeah, it was like $300,000. Like,
oh wow, no, bro, that's funny. Are you kidding?
You can look up all this stuff. It's ridiculous, but
the one that got me was the one Banksy. He had one, and I think like he had a rule or something.
Not to sell it.
Not to sell it like over a certain value or something like that, or sell it at all. It might have been. I don't know the true ins and outs. This happened a couple years ago, but yeah, they said they sold it for like a couple mil. And as soon as they hit the gavel, it shredded the whole joint. And I was like, yo, can you imagine?
Banksy, he's been a crazy inspiration because for years, even to this day, no one truly really knows who he is.
Yeah, there's a bunch of theories, but I don't think anybody ever actually proved it. Like, because I think they've tried. I've heard they tried to trace his YouTube channel, all types of stuff. Like,
because he has his drops. He has a website, but no one ever sees where, like, when the art goes up.
Right,
it'll just pop up in a random spot, and it. Well, sometimes it's been on a couple, like California, New York, but it's mostly overseas, and it's a random. Like almost like a flash mob. It just pops up,
right?
And people are like, oh, there's a new Banksy over there, and it becomes a whole big media frenzy. But he does like graffiti work, and it kind of spiraled into something bigger.
Yeah,
and I don't know how he's funded or how he makes money, but he doesn't sell his artwork,
right?
And people were like taking the brick off the wall and stealing his artwork to sell it.
Yeah,
he's so against that. He's not seeing none of that money. So
right, yeah.
So that's why he shredded it. But like crazy stories like that, people will pay for it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure whoever bought that probably kept like the shreddings. It was like, oh my god, dude,
It's
like,
worth
I
even
was
more.
there.
He went and take it up. I bet he had to bust up the tape, just sitting there going back and forth like a
I'd
puzzle.
be like, hey, look, the
No,
reason
it's probably the shreds is worth even more now.
Right. Dude.
Like,
you probably can sell one shred at a time.
Yeah, man, that, bro, I'm telling you, like, I'm not, you authentic, and we love that about you. We love our guests to be authentic.
Appreciate
that
it.
being said, what you gotta do is rename yourself like Ibrahim X or something.
Right.
You gotta do 8 different versions of the chain, of the wrist breaking the chain.
This is the symbol of my brothers breaking out of the white man's patriarchy. Like,
during the Juneteenth festival, you gotta go out and shame them white people. Shame them white people, bro. Like,
that's
you gotta. I want to know who started the wrist breaking the chain thing, because it's everywhere. Like, I want to know where that came from. Whoever was the first one made some money, bro. Like, I had to.
It's so stereotypical, and I try to stay far away from like typical black art.
Yeah, like you said, browns and crowns. That Los was right. That was a great expression, browns and crowns, bro. Because listen, I respect all our brothers and sisters in the art world, any type of entertainment space, but there's so many. It's like there's so many, and they always seem to find a way to my For You page during February, and I be like, where was y'all at all the other time?
Or it'd be like some like highly erotic photo of like muscular black man and hot black chick or something like that, you know?
Yeah, and somebody smoking weed, or
even a blackified version of a Bible character, like I said earlier, with the one from Good Times. Like,
it's so unnecessary.
Yo,
I know.
This is Jesus with Hennessy instead of a chalice. Like, why?
And it's so deep. It's like, nah.
Wait, who was that one diabolical Instagram artist? Like, it was always like these black and white drawings. Like, the character was usually like, some black dude with like a beard and stuff, and like, and it's like, if he'd be drawing like the most random shit in the background, like, one of them be like, like the dude like with he's like, so did you fuck him? And like the woman's like, yeah. So like baby Simba's just sitting there chilling. We're like, why the fuck is Simba there?
Like, I don't. Like I said, I try to stay far away from stereotypical art.
No, but these guys were diabolical. Who's the other one? Be like, dang,
I don't remember that one. I would try to think of who.
I remember that one because like they look like the characters like somebody in high school used to draw in their notebook or something.
Yeah. But it was another black dude. Like he's pretty infamous too with his art. Like they usually like post.
Oh, you talking about Justin Richburg?
He got art in
like take this nigga's art supplies away.
Bro, Justin Richburg, oh my god, bro. The stuff he used to draw was so
he trolls though, like it's damn near like Boondocks level trolling.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny. There was one where I swear it was like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and like Nelson Mandela at the club or something. And like, it was crazy. Like, it was so wild.
I appreciate that level of creativity, like the animation and then those storylines, because he creates what we're thinking of, like a social event, like something that happens. Like when he did Drake, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I found out about him when I was in college, and I used to look at his stuff and just cry, bro. It was so funny. Like, but no, like you said, it's like some level of like Boondocks like type of stuff. Like, it's definitely like, like it's obviously satirical. Like, he's not being like for real. Like,
he's playing. It's for entertainment.
Yeah. And I've seen some of his more serious stuff too, where it's been like real cool. But what was it, man? You know, we down at the end. We don't want to keep you too much longer, man. We just want to say thank you so much for coming through.
Yes.
You got any shout outs, man? You got any shout outs to do?
Honestly, no. Like I said, I'm a lone wolf.
He meant that shit.
I literally work by myself. I don't know.
Oh, man.
Shout out my girlfriend for putting up with me. That's all I got.
Shout out to yourself, I guess. Like, be like,
yeah. I mean, shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all having me on your platform.
Thank you, man. You know, we appreciate smart people like you coming through. You know, blessing us and everything. You know, but. Yeah, man, this is another episode of the SOS, y'all. We thank y'all so much for coming through. Thank you to our brother Q Perry. Thank you for coming through. Go to his page, follow him and everything. Buy the art, you know. And again, like I said, you gotta get one of these, bro.
Right. That's about to be the new logo.
Nah. Put a twist on it. It's a white guy.
No.
not with the current administration. I don't know what the current administration.
I was about to say,
right? Yeah, they're gonna believe it for real.
They're gonna be knocking on my door.
Yeah, that's a one-way ticket to the Tap Dance Express right there, man.
I heard Snoop Dogg joined it.
Yeah, but you know, thank you so much for coming through, everybody.
Appreciate it.
We do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. If you ever want to come through again, just to chill, you know, you don't even got to do no interview, just to chill. You know, you can always come through. But yeah, thank y'all so much. I'm B. We got Marcus, Tenzin, and our brother Los had to go. And right now, I believe Big John and them are up on the What They Want podcast, so y'all can hit them up on Instagram. Thank y'all so much. We'll catch y'all next Wednesday. Peace.
Peace out, y'all.